Once I had access, I could do whatever I want. I could steal their skins, send items to another account, or sell them on the market for real money.
Hello my little sufferers, how are you today? My name is Ivan and today we're diving into the world of Counter-Strike 2. But not the world you see on your screen. Today we're diving into the shadowy corners where deception, manipulation and extremely smart social engineering scammers are lurking around. Welcome to the most controversial interview you will ever witness. Before we start, there is a giveaway going on. Make sure to participate by liking, commenting and subscribing. We are going to sit down with a real CS2 scammer, someone who is making fortune of unsuspecting traders and players. What drives someone to scam thousands? Is it greed? Is it addiction? Is it something way more sinister? We're about to find out. We will hear their story just in a moment. Let's set the stage. Alright, let's get into it. You've been in the business of scamming CS2 players for a long time now. How did this all start? What made you choose that path?
First, it was just easy money. People are desperate to get ahead, to get some rare skins. It wasn't even that hard. I saw how many players would fall for the same tricks and took advantage of it.
But surely there's more to it. Did you ever feel guilty? Did you think about the people you were hurting?
Honestly, no. At the time I didn't care. There were just some faceless players, just some numbers. I was making a lot of money and it felt like a game itself. It wasn't until later when I saw how people were affected that I started to realize the impact. But by then I was just too deep in.
So you're telling me you didn't feel any remorse until it got out of hand, but now here you are speaking with us. What changed?
Getting caught wasn't the worst part. The worst part was seeing how addicted I got to the thrill of it. You just start to justify it, tell yourself it's just business, and then one day you realize you've lost everything. You lose your integrity and you're left with nothing but a name you can't escape.
So there is a darker side to this world which people don't see?
Exactly. It's not just about the money, it's about the power you feel when you can control someone's entire account, their progress, their achievements. That feeling, it's addictive.
So you're addicted to the power of that?
Yes, quite a lot.
Okay, you've heard the story from the scammer themselves. But here's the question. What's being done to stop this? How can players protect themselves? You can find out in my video about scamming methods and scammers. Okay, so do you think you ever leave this life behind? Is the temptation too strong to resist?
Well, I'm trying, but I can't promise anything.
Okay, stay tuned. The truth behind the CS2 scams isn't over yet. We're just getting started. Okay, so you have admitted scamming hundreds, maybe even thousands of players. Let's get into numbers. How much money are we talking about here? How much have you made from all this?
Well, it's kinda hard to keep track, honestly. There were a lot of transactions, a lot of different schemes, but if I had to estimate, I'd say at least $500,000, maybe more. Some months I was pulling in thousands. It's easy to get greedy when it's all so fast and it felt like a never-ending stream of cash.
Holy, that's insane amount of money. And how were you doing that? Were you just targeting people who didn't know better? Was there a specific strategy to pull that kind of profit?
Well, at first it was simple, fake skins, fake items, fake trades. I create this fake marketplaces, these convincing offers, and I just sit back and wait for the victims to bite. Once I had their trust, I'd move in. There were also some more elaborate scams. Sometimes I target high-level players with rare skins and offer them an upgrade deal, which was too easy and too good to pass up. Of course, I'd just pocket the items and disappear before they even knew what happened.
Okay, so you're telling me you were pulling how much thousands? Tens of thousands of dollars, all from fake trades and exploiting people's desires for rare skins or whatever. Did it end there?
Yeah, it's not just about taking money directly. A lot of people would buy loot boxes or skins and never get what they pay for. That added up quickly too. I'd make a new account every time as it started getting too risky. And the cycle would just continue. It was almost like a business, a dangerous and underground business.
I wouldn't say this is a business. This is like charity, but not the good charity. This is like scamming, yeah, pretty much. But okay, so you're saying this wasn't a one-time thing. This wasn't like 1 month, 1 year. This was a consistent source of income for you. How long did you keep this up?
It all started about 8 years ago. I think it was 1 year after the release of CSGO. I had a good run, but eventually things started to unravel. People caught on, reports started piling up, and that's when the real trouble began.
Wait, so for 8 years you made $500,000, and it seems,
Yes, that's correct.
seems like you were living in a world that there's no consequences to your actions. Now you're here talking to us. What made you want to speak out, to expose your own actions?
I guess after a while, the money and the thrill are already not enough. I just wanted to get out to walk away, but I couldn't shake guilt, and I couldn't outrun it either. I thought maybe telling my story would help others understand what can happen when you get caught up in something like this. It starts pretty small, but as you go in, it's already too late.
Okay, so 250, $500,000, maybe more. And it all came from people's trust, at expense of people's trust, their time and their investment in the game. But it seems like for you, the cost was higher than just money. It was your freedom, and especially your future. Okay, you've heard it straight from the source. Thousands of dollars, years of deception. And now the price of his life start to hit. I mean, well, I think karma does exist, after all. How long will it take from CS2 community to recover from this kind of damage from all those scammers, and what lessons we can learn from a story like this? We've heard about the money, but now let's get into the mechanics. You mentioned various scams earlier, fake trades, fake items, but let's talk about the one that most people are talking about right now. This is right, the API scam, or more likely now, phishing scam, because you get instantly access to their accounts right now. Is that the one you use the most?
Yeah, that's definitely the most effective one. So it's crazy how many people don't even realize they're being targeted until it's too late.
Okay, can you explain how this API scam works, even though it's not effective anymore? It's more like a phishing scam now? For the average player, it sounds like something that would take their account, no?
Yeah, so the API scam revolves around the game's API keys, basically the keys that allow third-party apps to interact with CS database. Players trust these third-party tools to manage the inventories they have, to check market prices, or even trade items. And the trick is simple. I just create a fake tool or site that looked completely legitimate. I'd offer something useful, maybe a skin tracker or a way to boost their items. Just something that players would think it's too good to pass up.
So players are pretty much handling their own accounts and inventory to you without even knowing it. That's kind of scary. And this wasn't about stealing the skins only, was it? You could access their entire account after all.
Exactly. Once I had access, I could do whatever I want. I could steal their skins, send items to another account, or even sell them on the market for real money. Sometimes I just transfer the items out and then sit on them until they were worth more. It was like having a gold mine, but it wasn't just me. There were others doing it too, creating fake websites or apps to siphon information from some unsuspecting players.
So, about the API scam, how long were you running this? How many people fell for it?
I ran it for about a year. Honestly, it was one of the easiest ways to make money, as I said. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of players got caught up in it. I'd say I probably stole from about 2,000 to 3,000 accounts, maybe more. And the worst part about it was that a lot of players didn't even realize their skins were gone until much later, after I already moved them or taken everything and laundered their money.
So you're telling me thousands of players were completely unaware that they were handling their keys to the dead car pretty much, or their account. It didn't stop there, did it? You were pretty much able to turn this into a long time cursor? How?
Well, after I had access to their API, I'd also find ways to use their accounts in more ways. If I needed to cover my tracks, I'd change the account settings or even steal the identity of the player. Sometimes I'd keep the scam going by siphoning off small amounts of skins or so it wouldn't be obvious, but yeah, it was all about patience.
So, it wasn't about the big host of skins, this type of scam. It was about being subtle, methodical, and it was in the end like a long-term game of deception. So who was exactly the victim here? Was it only the players? Or were there other people involved?
Yeah, it wasn't just the players. The system itself is part of the problem. Players usually rely on these third-party apps without fully understanding the risks. And the devs, they didn't really make it easy to protect the API. So yeah, it was a huge web of victims. Some players lost everything in one night. Others might not even know they've been hacked yet. But it was the trust. People trusted the game, trusted the tools, and I just exploited that.
It's chilling reality, isn't it? A fake tool, fake website, maybe even a real website with fake group or something like Face it. And your API key is gone. And suddenly your entire inventory is gone, maybe even account. You might not realize until it's too late. So what's being done to prevent this from happening again? You can find out everything about phishing and API scam in my video about how to not get scammed. But first, one interesting question. If you could go back and do this all again, knowing how you feel now and what you have done like a damage, would you do that again?
I think I would never have started, but as I already said, once you're in, it's hard to get out. I am way too deep in the game.
Okay, we've heard about API scams, but there's another scam that has been reported a lot in the CS community, and that's the Impersonator scam. Were you involved in that one too?
Oh yeah, I've done that a lot of times as well. It's honestly another easy way to trick people because everyone's looking for that chance to talk to the pros, to get advantage from someone they trust, like big traders. I just exploited that desire.
So, can you elaborate? Can you explain what is Impersonator scam? How did you pull that off?
Well, impersonating someone within the community, especially a well-known figure, is all about using trust. I'd create fake profiles that look just like the real pros or streamers, and then I'd message people pretending to be them. It's easier than you think. I'd even use similar usernames or profile pictures, or just get creative with the name spelling to make it look more legitimate.
Okay, so imagine a well-known streamer or trader or even pro player reaching out to you personally. They give you offer a deal, maybe a skin trade, or maybe even inside information, or asking for lending your skins. But the reality, for some players, it would be a dream come true, but the reality is that it's their biggest nightmare. It's a scammer posing as someone they trust. That's pretty much shocking. But what would you offer these players? What was the end game here?
Usually, the offer is too good to be true. But the thing is, people are greedy, and greed always overtakes. Felt like playing a game, but with real consequences. I made a lot of money off that. And the worst part is, even when they figured it out, it was already too late. The account would be blocked, or the skins would be gone.
So wait, this isn't about just stealing skins. It's about exploiting human trust. Well, these scammers prey on this player's desire for connection, validation, and exclusivity. They're not just taking titans, they're shattering dreams. And, the most importantly, in today's story, they're destroying trust in each other, in the community. Now, we've seen how devastating the impersonator scam can be. Let's break it down. How can players protect themselves from falling victim to this type of scams? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, one of the best ways to avoid being scammed is to just verify the identity of anyone who reaches out to you. Look for verified accounts, double check usernames, just avoid any profile that has misspellings or unusual behavior in general.
Okay, but why would you tell us those things? Isn't that making it harder for you?
No, actually, it's not.
Well, there you have it. We heard it from someone who's been on the other side of CS2 scam world, the shadowy side that relies on trust, manipulation, and deception. The API scam, the impersonator scam, and way more many scams that exist. They're just a glimpse into how easily people, emotions can be exploited. Now we got some questions from the community. First question is, why would you do this interview?
Because the game is too easy, and I just want a challenge by making it harder for my competition, and also a bit harder for me.
So you're telling me it's way too easy to scam people?
Yeah, it's quite easy.
Okay, second question. Do you have benefits of doing that interview?
Not really, I just wanted to show people how clueless are some of them and how easy it is to play with humans' emotions.
So you're pretty much clowning on them, on your victims?
Yeah,
Yikes. How much you make per month here? And is it consistent?
Oh, it's definitely consistent, but it also depends how hard I'm trying. For numbers, it depends how big is the fish I catch.
Okay, question number 4. Your gain is another man's misery. How do you feel about that?
To be honest, I don't feel anything. I don't really care about other people beside me.
Have you ever thought that you could get potentially harmed or doxxed after someone tracking you?
I mean, I have so many ways of protection. If they track me, fair, but I really don't think anyone would catch me.
Okay, so do you use private markets, black markets, like to sell your scammed items, or you sell them straight to someone, like a trader, site?
Usually, I don't use private markets. I'm using either a casino or a guy who is from my country.
Okay, so there is someone that is catching you out, and he knows that you're scamming?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Have you ever had regrets of the things you have done?
No. Happened once or twice, and after that I returned the items.
So you have felt a bit bad for someone?
Yes, you could say that.
Okay, so there we see a sign of empathy left in his soul. Do you do that to teach people to not be foolish or just for your own good?
I do it both for their benefit and my benefit. You see, they won't be that naive next time, and I get their money as a penalty of their mistake.
So you're punishing them because they're trusting you?
Yeah, and it's also a way for me to gain some money on the side.
So thousands of players have lost their hard-earned money and even their entire accounts because of these hints. And it's most important to remember the scammers are not invisible, even though he thinks he is. Clearly he's not. He's a human after all. They rely on your trust and the excitement to take advantage of you. If there is one thing to take away from today's interview, it's this: be vigilant. Always double check the authenticity of the accounts, be cautious of deals that seem too good to be true, and never share your personal information with strangers. Also be careful where you give your credentials as well. Remember, your account is worth protecting. Also, I would like to thank our guest for speaking out, even though his path is not the best one. I would say it's probably one of the worst ones. Hopefully, by sharing their story, others can learn to avoid the same mistakes. Thank you for watching, and remember, your online safety is in your hands. Protect yourself, and I really appreciate every single legend that is still in the video. Please consider subscribing, and if you like the video, like it and comment down below what do you think. Thank you so much, and yes guys, this was for today's video. I'll see you all soon with a new one. Bye bye.